My father got depressed, and I find it hard to cope with. I got into a really big fight with my depressed father. Throwaway ACC. English is not my first language. 15M. This situation is really complicated. Please take your time to read it all. It will really help me. I hope I explain it well. My parents are divorced, and both parents got a new partner. My stepmother has officially been declared as crazy by the government, so she can't influence the situation. She and my father got a son, 7M. He is not being looked after really well because of my father's depression. Me and my brother, 17M, got into a fight with my father. Next week it will be a year ago it happened. It has enormously affected the atmosphere in the family as a whole, including aunts, uncles, and grandparents. And my father kind of locked himself out of the family. We all still care about my father, but he doesn't want to speak with him anymore, though he still loves me and my brother a lot. Note, my father got some syndrome, what it is called, but it basically makes you half depressed all the time and makes it easy to become depressed. Before our fight happened, we were on vacation, my two brothers and father and stepmother. My father was really sad and sometimes angry, depressed during the vacation, and it was heartbreaking to watch him deteriorate. At some point, he even said things like, "I want to punch someone and I'm going to walk away and I don't know yet if I will return." When he said the last thing, we went for a walk, big brother, me and father, to help him cool down. We don't get along well with our stepmother. This has been the case since she and my father got together. Around 10 years ago, my parents divorced because my father cheated on my mother with her. But that evening was something different. Me and my brother were as cheeky as always, and she got really mad, and my father intervened and said we needed to go for a walk outside. So what we did, because it is a small town, we walked to our uncle and aunt's house and explained the situation. They were not surprised and cared for us. After we left them, we walked to our mother. We told the whole thing. We said that they basically sent us from home. The right word. We came to the conclusion me and my brother wanted to spend the rest of the vacation with our mother. Only half a week left. And so we went. Our mother rode us to father's house and sat in the car while we went inside. If things got out of the hand, she would come inside. Spoiler alert, she came out of the car eventually. I said we wanted a break. Nothing more, nothing less. He then got really angry and jumped up from the couch. "Now you really got to stop." The good translation, he said something like that. And said things like, "If you really walk out that door, I don't want to see you again. Ever." And my brother, 17M, ran to our mother, who was sitting in the car while crying. He said to me things like, "Think really well about what you're going to do next." And I didn't leave the door. Not yet. I don't know everything anymore, since it's a year ago, so I just tell the things I'm sure I know. I don't want to tell made-up things. Our mother entered angry. My mother rarely gets that mad. It was the first time I saw her like that. She said, "How could you say such things? Name of my father. Don't you realize what you are saying?" My father said, after he saw Mom enter, "So you concocted all of this?" He genuinely thinks she concocted all of this to get full custody or something, but she just cares for us and my father. I then intervened and said, "Keep mother out of this." It was completely the idea of me and my brother, which is the truth. But he didn't believe it. He also became very angry towards his own brother, my uncle, because they should have sent you two home when you entered their house when you walked away, while we were sent away. After this, it got really bad, and I don't remember this part anymore, and I'm happy about that. I also said things like, "Father, you're my hero. How could you say things like that? All the things you say really hurts me, you know? It hurts me to see you like this. Please think about what you're doing." Not exactly my words, but I said these things. And he seemed to cool down a little bit, but not for long. He eventually cried very much. My brother was still outside because he didn't want to be part of the fight, while I got the urge to stand my ground and not leave until we got to a point where we could leave. But that point didn't come. And eventually my mother said, "Pack your stuff, we're leaving." The fight lasted for 5 hours. Afterwards, he sent texts full of accusations, completely blind for the things he did. He said mother, uncle, and aunt ruined the relationship, and it will never return to as it was. After a few months of no contact, he said things like, "It hurts that you don't reach out to me," as if we abandoned him, while it's the opposite. So we went for a talk, and he was calm, but he was still making accusations towards our mother and not to us anymore because we are victims of this situation, which is true, but he did this. We had a few months of no contact again, but we saw each other for things like birthdays and Father's Day. After his birthday, 2 weeks ago, he said that it hurts that we only reach out on such dates. So for the first time, he sort of reached out to us again. But I don't think he knew how much it hurt me that all this happened. I spent nights in bed thinking about it, sleepless nights, etc. Now I asked them what they were laughing about after talking to people. They told me they were comparing, but it still hurts me every time I think about it. She sent to every time a song on the radio mentions the loss of a father. I just stood there listening. I almost have to cry, laughing about her. I hope I explained this well. As I grew closer to Judy, if you have questions, I realized she was bullying Charlotte. If you have kind of the same situation, please seek professional help. One day, because I came late to class, and Judy told me she screamed at Charlotte because she kept asking her what her grade was. Charlotte has ADHD and gets emotional quickly. I told Judy that it wasn't okay, and I felt bad for Charlotte. Well, I know y'all will hate me for saying this, but I'm not innocent. I started to make fun of her cause I was so blinded by the confirmation Judy gave me. One day, I had a fight with Charlotte, and she started crying. She called Judy, and Judy was with her female cousins. Judy then told me. Charlotte called her, and all of them were making fun of her, dancing to her crying or laughing about it. Judy started to tell me all the secrets Charlotte told her. When I say all of them, I mean all of them. She started portraying Charlotte as a villain, as if Charlotte was a PR zero-stit asterisk T. Judy dragged other people into it. They were all making fun of Charlotte. They were sending her S3X tape to other people. She's still a minor. I didn't support them. I told them to stop. I told them they were going too far with their actions. One evening, everyone was in Judy's backyard, and we were talking about the situation with Charlotte. They started to gossip about her, and I told them to stop and that I was going to apologize to Charlotte for my behavior towards her. My friend was still friends with Charlotte, and I told her I wanted to talk to Charlotte personally. We met up, and Charlotte told me that Judy portrayed me as the villain, saying I was the one who initiated it. I told her the truth about everything. I showed her my chats with Judy. I basically showed her proof that I did not initiate it. I still recognize my fault, and I apologize for my behavior. She told me everything is fine, and we went back to being friends. I told Judy about it, and all of her friends, plus Judy, started to make fun of me. Her friends took inappropriate pictures of me, not nude, and sent them to other people. They started to portray me as the villain. Our last text before she blocked me. They're translated by Google Translator. Me. September 6th, 24, 20 hours, 22 minutes, and 33 seconds. You don't need to portray yourself as mature and reflective when you are the most immature and unreflective of all of us, me. I didn't come to you specifically because Charlotte told me what you said about me and how you tried to put all the blame on me, Judy. I saw what I saw and heard what I heard. You're not feeling well mentally, and I can't deal with that. May Allah be with you, but that's it as far as I'm concerned, me. I cleared things up with Charlotte, and I apologized, and I also told you that I meant to. You didn't want me to apologize because she did so many unforgivable things. For me, after hearing how you tried to whitewash yourself by putting all the blame on me, the matter is resolved. Maybe you should work on your character and stop turning people on others. Before I could send my last text, she blocked me. We had summer break, so we didn't hear from each other. Charlotte and I went back to being friends and getting even better friends. School started a few days ago, and Judy saw us together and gave us a side eye. She's in the class of a friend of Charlotte and I. This friend told us what she said about us, in particular about me, and I was so mad. I wanted to talk to Judy in person, but she wasn't in school anymore, so I had to text her. Me, don't be surprised, I'm Mary. I have a new number. Stop talking about this situation between Charlotte, you and me. It's getting embarrassing. Even if you just tell Carla what I supposedly said about her. You're saying that you don't care about the situation and don't want anything to do with it, so act accordingly. Charlotte and I don't talk about it anymore because it's been over 2 months. If you're as mature as you always say, you can probably rise above it. If you really have a big problem with Charlotte or me, just talk to us and we'll talk about it like civilized people. I wanted to talk to you at school, but you were already gone, so unfortunately I have to write to you. Act according to your age, and before you blame it on my mental health again, I have more strength of character than you and can own up to my mistakes and also work on myself. You might also want to start working on yourself before criticizing others.